Ave Regina,
Mater misericordiae, vita dulcedo, estes nostra salve.
The Lord be with you. A reading from the Holy Gospel according to St. Luke. Some Pharisees came to Jesus and said, "Go away, leave this area because Herod wants to kill you." He replied, "Go and tell that fox, behold, I cast out demons and I perform healings today and tomorrow, and on the third day I accomplish my purpose. Yet I must continue on my way today, tomorrow, and the following day. For it is impossible that a prophet should die outside of Jerusalem. Jerusalem, Jerusalem, you who killed the prophets and stoned those sent to you, how many times I yearned to gather your children together as a hen gathers her brood under her wings. But you are unwilling. Behold, your house will be abandoned. But I tell you, you will not see me until the time comes when you say, 'Blessed is he who comes in the name of the Lord.'" The Gospel of the Lord. In our gospel today, some Pharisees come to Jesus and they tell him, "Go away, leave this area because Herod wants to kill you." Most likely, the Pharisees who hate Jesus is not really trying to warn him as much as intimidate him. They're trying to bring fear to Jesus. They want him to be filled with anxiety and worry, but they don't know who they're dealing with. Jesus is not intimidated. He knows who he is. He knows his mission. He even explains to them, "I cast out demons. I perform healings." How he does miracles. He knows that he's doing the Father's will. He's not intimidated by any man. Herod thinks he has a lot of power. Remember, Herod is the one who had John the Baptist beheaded. So I imagine the Pharisees thinking, well, this may scare Jesus. Jesus knows what Herod did to John the Baptist. And so they try to be very cunning. But Jesus knows who he is and his mission. And he knows the Father. He knows the Father's will. He knows the Father's plan. In our culture today, there are many anti-Christians and some who even claim to be Christian who are all about intimidation. They are against the gospel teachings. They are against traditional virtues and values. And they go about intimidating by saying, if you believe in these traditions, if you believe in what Jesus is teaching in the gospel, if you speak it, if you live it, you are an extremist, maybe even dangerous. And so they try to paint a picture of us being evil. And some of the examples are religious freedom itself. If you're for religious freedom, that's extremist. If you're for protecting the unborn in the womb, you're extremist. If you're for traditional marriage, you're extremist. And their intimidation is to either get us to be quiet or to change our minds. And they specifically try to intimidate children. In some instances, even trying to intimidate children by teaching them what their parents are teaching is extremist. Thank God we have Jesus' example. If we know who we are, if we know what our mission is, if we are doing the Father's will, we do not need to be intimidated. We don't have to become angry and hateful and violent. We can go about our business. Do what we know Jesus is calling us to do each day, and to be in peace. Intimidation is to cause anxiety and worry. And so we even need to watch this in our regular lives. Do we get intimidated by others to do the wrong things, to make the wrong choices? And especially we have to be careful we're the ones intimidating. When I was a pastor in a small town, I got a letter, and I opened up the letter, and the person didn't sign it, but what they wrote was, "I hate coming to your Mass. It's filled with incense and ringing of bells. You have too many altar servers. This isn't the Vatican, it's not Rome. You're destroying our parish. Get out. People are leaving in droves." And when I first read it, I felt anxiety and worry. For just a minute, I believed that maybe what was in the letter was true. And then I thought about all the people we had in RCIA, all the people going to Cursillo. Our Mass attendance actually was growing. Our 8 o'clock Mass in a small town had 12 to 15 altar servers every Mass. People who had been away from the church for 10, 20, 30 years were coming back. And I had to realize that the person was trying to intimidate because it wasn't what they liked. And I had to go to prayer and say, am I doing the Father's will? And I saw the fruits of what we were doing, not just myself, my staff, many of the lay people in the parish. And I couldn't do much about it because they didn't sign it. I couldn't respond. But my response was to not be intimidated, to keep going, to believe I was doing what the Father's will is. We will probably have many opportunities in times where intimidation may come against us. Sometimes it's because people don't understand. Sometimes it's the evil one, like we heard in our first reading, and he will use people to try to tear us apart, bring us down. But Jesus knew who he was and his mission. And so do we. We know who we are. We're sons and daughters of the Father. And our mission is to bring the kingdom into the world. And it may be revealed to us little by little, depending on our age. But let us have courage. Let us be like Jesus, who continues to go about the Father's business, the Father's will, and to place our confidence and trust in him alone.
Regina Celi,
Letare, alleluia, qui aquae meruisti portare, alleluia, resurrexit sicut dixit, alleluia, ora pro nobis Deum, alleluia.